Sound design in games is commonly overlooked. Sound design in general is something that the common person would not pay attention to, but in my eyes, it is one of the building blocks of what makes something like OMORI so impactful. Sound design is such a niche little thing that, understandably, would go under the radar of some. But for me, I've came to the realization of how beautiful sound design is, and how impactful one sound design in a game can truly shape and form it. OMORI, a psychological horror turn-based RPG, uses its sound design, OST, and overall tone to truly create the story that the game creator, OMOCAT, strived for. OMOCAT uses this OST to create a powerful message and most definitely succeeded in doing so. If you haven't realized already, this video has major spoilers for the entirety of OMORI, so please go play the game if you haven't already. Viewer's discretion is advised. Such OSTs that replicate the same amount of care for their game would be under the likes of Undertale, Yume Nikki, Silent Hill, Amnesia, and so many more. They create such an environment. Things like the previously aforementioned Silent Hill create such a tone right off the beginning through its start button sounds that give off a feeling that you have done something wrong and started something that you shouldn't have. The OMORI sound team, which included Pedro Silva, Jamie Lin, and Bowen, created OMORI's soundtrack. It includes songs in a variety of genres from orchestral to retro. Various sound effects snippets can be heard in many of the songs. Majority of the OST comprises of the sound effects that give the player that needed feedback. In games nowadays, a game without sound effects is unfinished. But for games like OMORI, the simplicity of being attacked, slicing a piece of wood in your way, and even the start button itself is something that's overlooked, yet being a key component that makes OMORI, OMORI. What do you feel when you hear this? Fear? Calmness? A sense of confinement? There are a ton of unbelievably beautiful sounds that come out of the 179 used songs in OMORI. One I truly hold dear to is Dear Little Brother, a song used during a cutscene featuring Mari when you jump into the lake saving Basil. It shares a similarity to By Your Side, a soundtrack commonly played while talking to Mari. The sound designers on OMORI knew this full well, making the original sound of By Your Side and connecting that to Dear Little Brother. Sound design in games aren't simply done to create simple quirks that apply to that game, it builds it. OMORI's experience without a doubt would not be the same without the three composers that made it. A frightening yet calm sense that the OMORI soundtrack gives off during the entire experience of OMORI. It is genuinely frightening the feeling of nostalgia that some of the soundtracks give off. Take Numbers for an example. A track used before the Walk of Truth sequence. It occurs after you finish speaking to the branch choral, when it speaks on giving you an opportunity about a challenge. This slowly signals the end of this dream world and even saying, "There is a challenge that will aid you greatly in this world. It is simply without thought, and if you succeed, I will be gone as well." What if it's up to you? What if it's only up to you? Carry on, dreamer. You're the only one who can. Emotions are truly sought out for during this period of time, and a sense of freezing can be felt. Almost as if you were stuck. The way this applies to the game is beautiful to me, as during the period of the game, OMORI had nothing to do but accept the truth. Your time in Headspace is coming to an end. Welcome to Black Space. Ramina stands as one of the greatest tracks in the OMORI OST for me. A ton of other people have their own interpretation of what exactly this track can mean. To me, Ramina represents a ton of incredible ideas that range from faint arguing to distress. Ramina makes feeling into a reality and truly raises questions for the player, making it one of the most unsettling, frightening, and atmospheric tracks in the entirety of the OMORI OST. The piano and the ambiance sound like arguing, the ambiance slowly overpowering the other. It's like you're inside a person's point of view. It's like something took over that mind and wrapping it whole with something indescribable with words. It's like you couldn't think until the realization of what you've done. The reference to the white space theme is no longer orderly as throughout the music of Headspace. Here, it's blurry and smeared. Maybe that's because the world of Headspace is coming apart, or because its stagnant nature is being undone through the pursuit of something else, anxiety itself. OMORI, one of the most beautiful and heart-wrenching tracks on the OMORI OST. Words cannot describe the amount of anguish that the low strings, synths, dissonance, and overall tone the entire track gives is something that once you listen to, you immediately recognize and feel genuine pain for. To me, this track is probably one of, if not the best fitting tracks to put in the game, especially at a part where it seems like something is pushing to the inevitable. It's like an undeniable current. The emotion of the track gives the listener the feeling of fear, sadness, and impending dread. It feels as if something is missing. Pedro Silva absolutely kills it with composing a song that perfectly captures this moment. The violin is the only clear thing you can hear, and the piano notes have a rotting distortion to them, along with the other noise attempting to clutter and drown out the violin. It so perfectly represents Sunny's fight with OMORI. Pedro manages to push the exact feelings and ideas in the moments through the music and really ensured some of the moments as being absolutely phenomenal, especially with this fight. Being one of the longest songs in the entirety of the OST, and even being named after the game itself, it's clear that without even having to listen to it, it plays an important role in the game. Not to mention the alter version of the song that plays after Sunny's Afraid. The alter version is so unbelievably beautiful, and to me is one of the most powerful moments I've ever felt in storytelling ever. Watching OMORI's sprite become more and more nightmarish along with the background is a different kind of horror, and I loved it. Not only that, but watching OMORI did not succumb turn into OMORI will not succumb is something that somehow felt extremely real, even though this part of the game was very dreamlike and surreal. To me, this song is something else. It's not inherently creepy or unsettling, for the context that is, it's just gut-wrenching and sad. Sunny is giving every last ounce of strength he has to blot out what OMORI presented him with, and OMORI's not budging at all. It's a fight for no hope, that you're slated to lose, unless you accept the fact that you'll always have the truth, instead of trying to overcome them. Forgiving isn't making something right. Forgiving isn't making things better. Forgiving isn't a happier ending. Forgiving is just accepting that what is done, that a part of you will always be remorseful of what happened, that a part of you will always miss what could have been, that regret is something you'll live with, but it's acknowledging you're imperfect and that you're not evil because of it, and it lets you move forward. It lets the wounds heal, accepting that there will always be scars. From one high-pitched piano note, I could almost start crying. The final duet's simplicity of just a piano and violin can make something so undoubtedly beautiful and manage to create one of the most sorrowful and heart-wrenching pieces of music I've personally ever listened to. The thing that makes Duet different from the other emotional songs in this game is the fact that this one doesn't actually bring about a feeling of nostalgia. The other songs make you feel like you were looking back on an old memory from your childhood, but Duet has none of that. Instead, it feels like a memory you didn't experience, or rather one you couldn't have experienced, as if this moment was taken away from you by something you couldn't control. That's why this theme works so well too. It's a song about longing for something you can never have, like how Sunny feels about his duet with his sister. A song about what could have been if only he didn't get in a fight with Mari. And that's what makes this song hit so different from every other song in the game. The true power and meaning that can go behind every singular part in this track is absurd. The last hour of OMORI is one not to forget, and words are indescribable to how powerful everything is simply because of this one track. Pedro Silva once again manages to encapsulate the beauty of the cutscene between Sunny, Mari, and the gang so unbelievably well. In gaming, there truly is nothing as beautiful as a track that captures everyone's attention the second it plays. It's almost as this track creates one of the best visions of true pain, sorrow, and overall comfort that is genuinely surprising. Nearing the end of this cutscene where the violence slowly becomes the ending of the song, the cutscene's mood changes ever so slightly. Catching the actual duet happen and the eventual cut to the piano without a player is something so heartbreaking. Thank you for watching. I spent weeks upon weeks on this video, and I'm so happy the way it came out. So, if you're still watching to the end, I very much appreciate you. I love OMORI, and I hope you do too. Thank you. Thanks for watching.